stand. I know, me too this morning. I hope you can all see this beautiful painting.
Oh. What's that? Okay, do I back it up a little? No, I don't know. Okay. I guess we'll see. Okay. Okay, thanks. It's not holding? Oh, I was probably backing away. Thank you. Good morning. I am Pat Forbes. I am from Colorado, from the southern aspect of Colorado, the San Luis Valley to be exact. And I think most everyone involved with the Star people know that that is called the Mysterious Valley for a reason. I'm an ET healer, an originator of Alchemy Universal Therapies, a healing modality in which I use ET assistance and quantum physics technologies, which I have developed with over the past 20 years. It is a great honor to be here among family and friends. Thank you for inviting me. This truly is a family reunion. My purpose is to help others, including you, to raise your vibration of thinking and being so that you can step into your divine purpose while you are here and on and off of this planet. I am an earth-trained healer as well as a universe-trained healer. I'm sorry I'm having to read a lot of this, but I'm a bit nervous. For over 2 decades, I have been an earth-trained healer, practicing massage, matrix energetics, and other alternative healing modalities. Many, many clients all over the planet have experienced extraordinary results from my healing sessions, and some describe them as miracles. People have asked how I attribute the power of my healing gifts. Well, for one, they are gifts. This is the first time that I'm coming out with the true source of my healing powers, and in essence, coming out about the information that is helping me raise my own vibration of my thinking and of my DNA, and this connection to this body. And this is what I know to be true today. It may change tomorrow, as everything does. I am 97% minimum extraterrestrial DNA, 3% human DNA. There are a variety of situations that led me on this search of finding out who I am and what I am. I had always believed I was a walk-in. There are many definitions of a walk-in, for those out there that have not heard this term before. Some of them are, a walk-in is when another soul enters the body. The original soul is usually finished with its sole purpose, or it just can't handle being on this planet anymore, and it is ready to move on. Another soul comes in to live another purpose without the training it needs to go through whatever the original soul was already dealing with. Also, it comes in this way so it doesn't have to deal with the birthing process, the childhood, the growing up with the many obstacles of basic life. However, walk-ins don't always remember what it is they're having to walk in to do in relation to the person that they're taking over. Some have to work really hard to fill the role of family or job they have found themselves involved in, sometimes taking them away from their real purpose of why they came here. Others have had the opportunity to work with the soul exchange before it happens, which gives them time to do a little communicating with the person that they're coming into, learning a little bit about their family of origin, and about the job they're taking care of. But sometimes it is just too hard, and they forget it. And this just felt sort of true for me for many years, but something still felt off. I was still searching for who I am, what I am, and why I am here. One of the situations that led me to start another search was I had the opportunity to have a soul portrait done by a very gifted healer, soul painter, here in the Fort Collins area. This is what she painted. We had made the appointment a couple of weeks in advance, and the night before I had this painting done, I had a dream. Just don't paint me looking like an ET. Which I didn't bother to fill her in on that experience. And I was at the meeting with her, sitting facing her, where I did not see what she was painting. And I don't know why I associated being painted green as being an ET, but for some reason it just hit me that way. Could be. Or the mantis beings, I know. No. Oh, well. But she did paint me with a lot of beautiful colors and other abilities that show what I can do and what I work with. And at least that's how she explained it to me. But it did shake me up, seeing this. And then this spring, okay, back to this, it did give me the reasons to start paying more attention to why she painted it this way and what I do and some of the little things that I don't do like other people. And then this spring, I had the opportunity to have a hypnosis session with a very reputable lady in the Loveland area. I gave her a list of things I would like to address, and one of them on that list was wanting to know my ET connection. During this hypnosis session, the spring of 2014, I was able to see my own conception. I was spliced from Arcturian, Antarian, Pleiadian, and Sirians from Sirius B and Andromeda, DNA, or genetic material, and combined with the fertilized egg from my parents within my mother's womb. I saw the syringe full of the liquid of genetic material, or DNA, and I was told it was from those 4 planets, from within our galaxy. And I knew there was someone controlling that syringe. I couldn't quite see the hand, but I could see it being controlled. Am I too close?
No, you're too alien.
Sorry.
I'm just playing. You can get as close as you want.
You're probably more right than what you think. Right. Is that one working? Okay. There was also a greenish-colored, wafer-thin square of Andromedan genetic substance. And I learned that it was made up of 4 of the 7 planets from the Andromedan system. And as the syringe with the needle coming into this egg, the wafer-thin material came forward also, and it all came into that single cell at the exact same time, right before it did its first division. During this hypnosis session, I heard the words, "You were spliced in, not walked in." And that is something I would never have come up with on my own. So I know I was being told that. And for some crazy reason, I felt fine. There was no drama to it. It actually calmed me. It was a relief to finally know this piece of the truth, at least for now. Who knows what will show up later? It now made sense as to why and how I work with the extraterrestrial teams from the Galactic Federation of Light and of the Ashtar Command. For the third confirming piece of verification, I was given an article by a woman named Susan Lee. Or it might be pronounced Lie. I'm not sure. It's spelled Suzanne, L-I-E. The article was written in September of 2014, titled The Arcturian Message, The Volunteers. It explains the how and why. The Arcturians, the Antarians, the Pleiadians, and the Sirians of Sirius B combined their DNA and planted it into those that volunteered to take a human vessel. This procedure started at the beginning of the year 1946 and is continuing on this day. I was born 1950, so I was right in the beginning of this stuff. Those that volunteered to participate in this were amongst the ones who originally seeded this planet, the human race. It was a choice to assist the planet Earth. This article explained a lot of what I had seen during this hypnosis session. I do have it with me if there's anyone that wants to refer to it later. Once I had the experience of the soul portrait, the hypnosis session, and then finding this article, the terms with why I have felt like I do just made more sense. Once I started accepting this aspect of me, which was just September, the reason I have felt like I've been coming online more. There's been more activations, more intensity of knowledge. And the reason I am telling all of you this is that I feel that many of you out there are of a similar situation, and I hope that this gives you something else to think about besides just being a walk-in. I have now found that it is highly unusual for spliced-in ET humans to have the Andromedan DNA in them. And I asked why. What I was told is it allows me to travel easier through the star galaxies to outside, or through the stargates to outside of this galaxy. I have memories of during nights and meditative states and soul naps where I often travel to other Earths or galactic locations to do healings and rescue missions for other souls in trouble. I also have different healing abilities, or so I am told by my team. One of those is to be able to work with the DNA of others in group settings. When it comes time for certain DNA codes to be activated, by being in the room with me and my team, they work with those persons whose teams are also with them and are of a similar vibration. To activate their DNA as their soul sees it is okay to do so, it just happens. Some of you may experience that as you're listening to this or being in this room, as there are many, many beings in here. Another thing I do is time travel. It's not quite the same as manipulate time. Or I use it in some of my techniques. And what I've also been shown is how to work in all dimensions at the exact same time and in all timetables, past, present, and future, and in parallel universes. And if I'm not doing it personally, I'm watching my teams do it, because sometimes that gets to be an awful lot to track. I'm able to use the information technologies and the skills of all of these planets from which I draw my DNA in my healing practice. I have also been told that other knowledge is waiting for me to receive it. The more I accept who I am, the easier it is to facilitate my extra DNA being activated, as many of you will also. In addition to my being an ET, I'm assisted by intergalactic teams who help me in my multidimensional work. They assist me in my healing room, as I have physically seen them. And as I work on my clients, they also help with my clients with the distant healing. They accompany the client at their end of the phone or the computer. And they often assist my clients during their dream time. And then they assist during my workshops to teach my apprentices. And yes, they are on standby for whatever is needed. When people come to me for help, my ET assistants immediately, as soon as an appointment is made, join with the client to begin in the healing process, if the client is okay with that. I teach my modality, Alchemy Universal Therapies, to apprentices. This work must expand across the earth. We are put here, the people in this room or that see this information, are put here to heal this earth and its people. I have been shown how we have been created to be of a higher level of DNA and consciousness to do the job we are here to do, save the planet. When my students gather in my workshops, we are joined by many higher level beings who assist us in learning to use our healing skills, who download information and knowledge to us, and who help us understand our unique and official place on this planet while being in the room. They are also assisted during dream time. The apprentices and students are assisted during dream time to speed up their abilities before they get to the workshops and to help them be ready for what it is they're supposed to learn. For some that do not work with the healing technologies, it is also a vibratory field that we just naturally carry. And we hold it. As in, we carry these codes when we go to the grocery store, when we prepare food, when we move furniture around, when we do cleaning, when we do emails or other notes to people around this planet. We're doing this work. When we are going about our daily activities, whether we realize it or not, we are in a constant state of communication with the original creator and the universe. That is why we must pay attention to how we are thinking and speaking at all times. I have also noticed that this year, more and more activations are happening and faster than ever before. The vibrating is very intense and sometimes overwhelming. When I have to take my soul naps and new information is downloaded to me, or the cold energy, the shivers that are so intense, you can't get warm with more clothing or blankets. These are activations. I have also noticed this year, the reason I am telling you this is because I know that there are others in this room that have the same feelings and experiences that I have, and probably are of a similar situation of being. We have a tendency to be loners, hermits, and have the feeling of not belonging anywhere. We just want to go home. I want you to know you're not alone and can always talk to me about it. We volunteered to be here right now to help this planet walk into the next phase intact. Some of the information that I have been given will help make it easier. The process of conscious regeneration and the harmonics of transformation help our body, mind, and soul work with the information within the field of consciousness. We will discuss this further in detail in my workshop this afternoon. Being true to who we are is one step in the process of raising the vibration of our thinking and the collective consciousness of this planet. We have reached a point in consciousness that we can no longer exist in backward moving, thinking, or living. We can no longer let ourselves wallow in what was. What happened to me and my friends or family is in the past. It was a great building block for where we are now. It is time to create and move into the new world. When we look at and resonate with the sadness in the past, we are in a lower vibration and are moving backwards. The lower vibration allows disease and decay into our thoughts and then into our physical body. It is like a virus being allowed inside. I am here to teach you how to stay in a higher vibration of being. If I were to let the thoughts of a hurt or a sadness take up a lot of time in my mind, it would cause my electromagnetic field or my vibration to lower. If I were to stay in that vibration or in that mindset for very long, it would become a part of my being. It becomes harder to rise above it and let it go. For example, I'm sorry, but with this vibration that I'm dealing with right now, now I've got to put my glasses on. Thank you. For example, let's say that a child, or even a few minutes ago, I was bullied, made fun of, or beaten. If I were to dwell on this electromagnetic field of vibration, if I were to dwell on this, my electromagnetic field or vibration is lowered, and I would be in a state of allowing different disease patterns to become a part of my being. I'm not saying to pretend it didn't happen. Your heart or soul knows the truth. I'm saying not to let it define you. As we know, disease has its own vibration, and if we lower ourselves to match it, we take on the frequency of that disease. It doesn't matter if it's a cold or a cancer. If we stay in that frequency long enough, we eventually take on that disease. We allow ourselves to attach to the morphic field of that disease. Now you ask, what is a morphic field? The way I see it, it is a giant energy bubble floating around the planet with the name of itself written on it, such as cold, flu, asthma, cancer, diabetes, school, government, hospital, pharmaceuticals, medical doctors, alternative therapies, belief systems that think they are better than another, religions, race, countries. I could go on and on. These are the negative morphic fields. There's a morphic field for each and every pattern of information that holds the vibration of a belief system. Once you hold the vibration of that belief system or that disease, you become attached to it. This is also true for the higher thinking belief system. It is a choice. The problem I see is not being able to step out of these fields of information. They have been programmed within us for our entire lives. However, being able to unhook from them brings you into a higher vibration, a higher state of consciousness. Once you realize the level of control that you are living in, you can then recognize a new way of looking at it and the world around you. Then take control of yourselves. you can realize that anything is possible. You can be, do, and have anything you so choose. When we are gathered in groups like this, we are in a mass of higher frequency, higher consciousness, laughing from the belly, loving from the heart, a great way to be. It is easy to be in this energy when we are here. When we go back home or to work or where we were before we come here, then we have to work at it until it becomes a daily way of life from within. I realized that I have continued to search for the real me in this higher energy vibration. I love teaching my workshops, but once in a while, I also need to get a boost without having to be the one in charge. Just being able to soak it up. So when a quantum energy technique that I trust to be of a high vibration comes around, I take the opportunity to attend. It helps me relax and boost my vibration. Of course, I always learn something at any workshop I attend, but it is being in the energy of like-minded people that is what is so wonderful. Also, being in the high vibration group creates a field of consciousness that helps boost the planet, just like we are doing here at this celebration. We at this time are creating our own morphic field, the Star Knowledge Conference morphic field. The higher vibrations help us step away from the morphic field of control. I find my heart opening easier, as here I am with many that resonate with me, wanting to learn the same thing. All of this is done with the Creator, and in a field of love, play, aliveness, the energy of life. I have found that through working with the Creator in conscious regeneration, what many would call miracles just happen. At one time, I called the workshops I teach cell organ regeneration. That was based on a research that was done in the 90s by Russian spiritual scientists, where they documented their work. Body parts, like kidneys, teeth, uterus, and others that had been documented as being removed by doctors within a hospital setting. The people would go to the spiritual scientist, usually as a last resort, and through consciousness work, their bodies regenerate themselves. Teeth grew back, kidneys grew back, uteruses grew back, and babies were born from these uteruses. Functional body parts fully grew back. The list goes on and on of the documentation of what was removed, and it was documented as it growing back. Most importantly is that diseases were cured before they reached the point of removal of the affected area. This is what I teach people to do for themselves. I've had some amazing results within my practice, but it is best for people to know how to do this for themselves and their loved ones. My apprentices also have had phenomenal results. Just checking on time to see what I can tell you. Okay. One of my workshops, a woman attended. She went out to her car to go home, and that's where she would always light up her cigarettes, and she no longer wanted to smoke. In one of my workshops in Pagosa Springs, a person, can't see you with these on, a person got a picture on her phone of her husband that had recently gotten a bee sting. And she took a group off to the side, and with what I had taught her the day before, she and this group did work on her husband, and all the swelling went down in his hand within just a few moments. And he was quite allergic. You could probably find this as one of the testimonies on my website. I forgot I put this down. One of the ladies in my that came to me a while back is an amazing potter. And this last summer, she had to work at a kitchen facility, and her thumbs were hurting her horribly. And I had worked on her before, and we'd get them just to a point, and she'd be fine to go back and do pottery. but this was very important. And with this technology that I've learned, you don't discount anything that you see. You always ask what it is and what it's about. What I saw on her hand was this very strange-looking spider. And I knew it was an alien spider. And I don't like spiders. So instead of just brushing it away and ignoring it, I asked it what its purpose was. I saw it just climb into her thumb, and then I asked her how her thumb felt. And it was perfect, no pain whatsoever. So I said, well, let's do that to the other thumb. We need another one of those spiders. And it did it. It was amazing just to see it happen that fast. And when she went back to work a couple of weeks later, her thumbs were great when she got there, but after she got back into that old vibration again, the pain did come back a bit, but not to the point of where it was originally. I have seen people come in with chronic gastro disorders, and within just a few weeks, they're normal and they're losing weight. It's just phenomenal what changes happen. Vertebra change. Whatever you can think, you can do it. It is the simplest method to work with I have ever been shown. It is like magnified prayers with time travel, working within the field of the heart. It is a form of quantum physics where the work is play, and it's all done with what is called conscious technologies or informational medicine. If you think it, you can create it. We work hand in hand with the Creator. What troubles me is I have seen the miracles fade or not hold. It's when the person goes back into their real world, where they hear family laugh at them and say such things as, "Of course you have that disease. It's what great-grandfather died of. It's what Grandpa died of. It is what Dad has now, and of course you will too." If a person has even a flash of doubt of what has happened in their session, their miracle can be gone and be even harder to regain. Another problem has been when a person takes their time and money to attend a workshop and learns these wonderful, easy methods of bringing people into their divine blueprints, just to go home and not use these new tools. I think most of this happens because it is new, and the general public has doubts. It's a new, different languaging. We're not used to that. It's a different vibration, and people just aren't ready to accept it. To be in a regenerational state of consciousness, one must be happy and practice forward thinking and living. As we go through life, our minds tend to wander onto the path most traveled. If we have been taught to focus on this is what we do because this is what we have always done, we are programmed into a pattern that may or not be the best. Traditions are a big one where we can get into these patterns. For example, we always have Sunday dinner at Grandma's, and she always fixes a pot roast, and I always sit in a certain chair, and Grandpa always says the blessing. When we stay in these types of patterns, there is no room for growth. It is time to step out of the old morphic field of disease, decay, and death, and create a regenerative life. Those of us that have a little bit different DNA are ready to move out of this old way of thinking. We get great results with conscious energy work, or also called informational medicine. The vocabulary of it resonates in our soul. This is what we will be working on in my workshop this afternoon. Getting into the field of the heart easily. Not the heart chakra, the torsion field of the heart. Time travel and creating a state of conscious regeneration. I will take you through several processes one of clearing yourself of old attitudes, one of clearing yourself with the golden light of the Creator, and time travel to experience how you can make changes within your own lives. First, we have to experience getting into this field of the heart. That is where all healing takes place. My workshop is at 1 this afternoon. Come see what possibilities we can create in your world. My website is www.alchemyuniversaltherapies.com. Also, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little button to click, and you'll put in your email address, and then you can download, I don't have it written down what it's called, but it's sort of an abundance process, and then you can print it out for free. You work with this for a month or longer if you wish. A friend of mine worked with it for 21 days and received a sales of $58,000. Another one found the love of her life. These are just a couple of people that actually got back to me about what they experienced. Is there any questions? Okay. It's www.alchemy, ALCHEMY, universaltherapies.com. And also on Facebook, friend me. I'm under Patricia Vance Forbes. You have to include that maiden name once in a while just so people from high school can find you. Or maybe not, after this speech. Well, they always thought I was a little off at school anyway. Didn't quite fit in. But are there any questions? This? Well, I don't understand all of it, actually. She said, this is how I receive information. This is how I receive information. This is how I work with information. This is how I work with healing. I work with the DNA and the wings of angels in a heart. I don't really understand it myself. This was done a couple of years ago, and I had still been freaking out about it. And after what's happened this year, I thought I better pull it out and take another look. It is. Yes. I can repeat if necessary.
I've taught kindergarten through college, and as a Cherokee elder, what we do to influence the seventh generation is really in my heart. What is one thing that as a child of the earth and sky in school on earth that you would ask that the teachers change or would have benefited you the most?
I don't know. I was so shy back then. No, now. Oh, now? If I were talking to teachers now, keep the chaos down in the room. Touch a child once in a while on their shoulders to help them be grounded. Treat them for the intelligence that they have. More often than not, the kids in the classrooms now that are acting up are way beyond what they're being taught. And they're bored. They're just bored.
Okay. Food. What food?
Organic food as much as possible. Cut out the pastas, the junk food, I can't think of the right word. Of course, sugars. Cut out
Poisons.
the chemicals.
GMOs?
Absolutely. However, I do have a process that I will be reading in my workshop, or if someone wants to hear it later, on how to eliminate the GMOs from the food you eat. That is one big thing. Learn how to bless your food where you will not activate any chemicals in it, that it will go through your body without any absorption of any of the chemicals, and that you will be able to receive exactly what your body needs, including the water you're drinking. Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to ask if you're on Facebook and if you would post that process on Facebook, because our society desperately needs that technology of GMO reduction.
I do have
Would you?
it.
Okay,
I will ask permission from the person that wrote it.
right.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Is she incredible? Give her a big hand.
Oh,
This beautiful woman.
thank you.
My goodness, I want to go to that workshop.